Welcome to the Vault Excel. Thank you for joining me. This is a continued conversation pertaining to the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. As most of you know who follow the story, the content, Wednesday, February 26th, will mark 1 year that a call went into a dispatch by Katie and Christopher Proudfoot that their child, boy child, went missing, 15 years of age. Please check out my content from last night pertaining to the disappearance of Sebastian. A video has been released of a dark figure walking through the neighborhood. Police say it has no relevance. Check the polls on my community page. Before I go into my content, I want to reveal the polls results because I did not reveal them last night as I said I would. So I decided to get up and do a live this morning to go over the polls that I've posted to my community page. Feel free to take the polls and comment below the video. A day ago, I asked you, video a figure walking about on the alleged night of Sebastian's disappearance. 22% of you said it was relevant, the video. 53% of you said it's not relevant. 25% of you said you're not sure. Next question, is it Sebastian in the video? Once again, police say it's not relevant to the case. 7% of you say it is him. 67% of you say it is not him. And 25% of you said you're not sure. So on both questions, relevancy of the video and if it is him in the video, 25% of you said not sure on both questions. Majority of you all say it's not him and the video is not relevant to the case. Now, as far as the child being alive, deceased, can the case be solved? 4 of you voted just a few minutes ago. Will this case be solved? 50% yes, 25% no, 25% said not sure. Almost 1 year to the date that Sebastian Rogers went missing, does TBI, Sumner County Sheriff Department, have leads, a suspect, plural? 67% yes, 33% no. Almost a year to the date that Sebastian Rogers went missing, is he alive or deceased? Only 2 people voted, and you all voted deceased. Once again, Katie Proudfoot's interview will air on the news February 26th, this Wednesday. Why is she speaking now? Was Christopher Proudfoot home February 25th, 26th, 2024? 1 person voted, not sure. If Sebastian Rogers was unalived by Katie and Chris, was it accidental or intentional? 1 person voted, intentional. Now, back to the fact that the interview will be on Wednesday. 1 person commented. Quinny says, no clue. I would have come out soon after Seth started all the BS said. Say what? I would have come out soon after Seth started all the BS. So what BS did Seth start? Help me understand what BS he started. Because he spoke his truth to the news? Well, that's Seth's truth. It's not my truth. That's not your truth. You're not the mother. You're not the father. None of us know what happened with this kid. None of us know what happened in that house. We're only speculating from what these people have exhibited per YouTube and the news. That's all you have to go on, unless you know them personally. And in the end, as I've said before, pertaining to true crime, you don't know anybody. You don't know people. You don't know the mindset of people. So whatever Seth said to the news, that was his choice. That was his choice. She wasn't going to come out soon to speak because she doesn't care about her kid. And if you can't understand that, there's something wrong with you. This lady and this guy, Christopher Proudfoot, they don't care about their kid. And as I've said before, I'm not about to argue with anybody about Sebastian Rogers. Not now, not never. This is a picture from Zillow pertaining to the residence at 1008 Stafford Court, Hendersonville, Tennessee. The value is at $641,000, excuse me, 3398 square feet, 3,000 plus square feet, almost 3,400, 3 bed, 4 baths, okay? We can take a good look at this home. Nice looking home, probably better than some houses out here in America. You're entitled to your opinion. Naturally, the house is occupied, allegedly by the Proudfoots at the current moment. This is just photos that were taking place before they purchased the house, but it's just to give you an idea of what the house looks like, the layout of Stafford Court, okay? Welcome to the Vault XL, everybody. Thank you for joining me this early Sunday morning, bringing you continued conversations pertaining to Sebastian Rogers due to the fact that Wednesday will mark 1 year that the child went missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee. The only reason I'm giving commentary pertaining to his disappearance. The back of the house, as you see, there's a fence in the back. I always tell people to pay attention to the details. The fence starts right there from the back of the house. Stay woke. Always pay attention to the details. Hello, Juanita. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Paul. Christopher Proudfoot, were you at this residence February 25th, 26th, 24? I'm curious. The disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, was it an accident or intentional? I'm asking these questions from content from my live last night. Feel free to check it out. It's under 3 hours. The live stream is a very good live stream. Please check out the said information. I've been asking these questions since day one. Where is the child? What happened to the child? Accidental, intentional. The person who was on my panel last night believed that perhaps it was an accident, that maybe the mother became irate with the child, or the child was upset with the mother and there was an altercation and something happened to the child. So what you have to ask yourself is, if it was indeed she was alone with her son, she unalived her son intentionally or accidental, then where is he and where was he discarded? And how did she get him out of the house without anyone seeing? And that would be naturally through the garage, because you can't see in the garage. Did she leave her house? Is there video of her leaving her home? Will we find out later that she left her home? Will we find out that somebody came to the home? Someone parked in the driveway into the garage? Was Mr. Proudfoot home? So once again, if it was accidental and it was all on the mother, did she get help after the fact? Did he come into town, meet her, park near the home, or came to the home to help her, or was he already in town? So Mr. Proudfoot, were you in town February 25th and 26th? You told the news that you were not at the home at the time of the child's disappearance, which the mother puts it at February 26th, that early morning. I believe that was Monday morning. She says he was gone. When she went to wake him up, looked all over the house, looked outside, blah, blah, blah. Do you all believe that version? Do you believe that version? I'll probably put that as a poll as well. Do you believe that version? She went into the child's room. He was not there. The child was said not to be the type to run away. Do you believe he was the type to not run away? You see, as I keep telling people, everything is about a version. It doesn't matter who's talking, what story a person is spinning about the most mundane of things. Hey, I went to the grocery store today. Then I went to Walmart. Then I went to Ross. Then I went out to eat. You don't know if it's true or not. Everything's a version. Even the most mundane of conversations, it is a version. So I'm asking, Mr. Proudfoot, were you at this address, 1008 Stafford Court, February 25th and February 26th? Either or. What happened to this child? I wanted to title this video, If the Walls Could Talk. What would they tell us? Where do you see somebody parking their car back here? A lot of land, but there's a fence going around this property. This is why I always tell people nobody thinks. Everybody talks, but they don't think. Make it make sense. Oh, they went back here, they did this, da 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 da. Do you see the circumference of the house? And this is cut off. So there's still more property before you get to a fence. Make it make sense. That's why I always tell people to survey the information before speaking. Because what a lot of you all have been doing, you have been banking on the commentary of others to form an opinion. I don't work like that. I do my own surveying of information. And you can see a fence on that side, and then you go back, the fence starts to the left of the property. So that's left. This is right. So where would a car be back here waiting? Make it make sense. Since people love throwing out theories. And naturally over here would be somebody else's property, the back of somebody else's property, facing the back of their property. Make it make sense. Don't you think it'd be obvious somebody just sitting back there driving through somebody's lawn with a car? That's why I tell you, nobody thinks. Do I want to draw attention to myself? Just even on foot, it's too much work. Look how much grass you've got from the back to that fence over there. That's a nice little walk, carrying a body, throw it over, and you're not worried about somebody seeing you, anything. Come on, make it make sense. Because once again, as I said, the back of this property, somebody else's house faces the back of this fence. That's why I always tell people to weigh the information. Think for yourself. And a lot of you have not been thinking for yourself. And I've noticed this with every case I have covered pertaining to true crime. Somebody missing, somebody dead. People cannot think for him or herself. Why? I don't know why. You cannot do that. Help me understand. Christopher Proudfoot, were you at this home the 25th and the 26th? Were you at Stafford Court, this place where you and Katie paid a mortgage? The day that the child was running around with his mother all damn day, eating colossal-sized popcorn and junk food, dinner with the mom at a steakhouse to later return back to this house allegedly, to then go missing into the morning. So you don't even know what's the truth. Because what did I tell you? That's somebody's version. When I replayed the full interview last night on this network, and I was looking at Katie speak, the one thing I found interesting, once again, on the replay, is that when the reporter asked her a question about how she felt, her emotions or something, she had to look at Chris before answering, like a deer in headlights. And that's when I told myself, once again, deception. The reporter is speaking to you directly. She's addressing you, Katie Proudfoot. But you need to look at your husband. Why? Why do you need to look at Chris to answer? She's talking to you. And then there were a few times she'd ask you a question, Christopher would answer. Stay woke, everybody. I'm woke. And now on Wednesday, they're going to play a pre-recorded video interview of you speaking. About what? What do you have to say to the public about your child when you've had nothing to say in damn near a year about the disappearance of your son? What do you have to say? I don't think you have anything to say. That's why I made the video I made yesterday, that everything's about aversion pertaining to Sebastian Rogers. Very nice house. Some people would love to have a home like this. See, everything is an illusion. If the walls could talk. Everything's an illusion, you see. Keeping up appearances, or as they would say a long time ago, keeping up with the Joneses. Exactly. You see, you don't know people. Right now, if you were to walk into this house, it probably doesn't look like this because they have their own things inside. But you walk inside and you may say, wow, this is a nice house. Nice vacay, nice street, nice cars parked in the driveways, garages. Oh, this looks like a nice place to raise a family, have a happy life. But what is happiness? Because you see, everyone has a different interpretation of happiness, love, the good life. And Sebastian only knew what was shown to him, like most children. And as an adult dealing with an adults, you only know what people show you and what people tell you. And sometimes what people tell you is not correlated to what they show you. I think most of you understand that. That a lot of times people talk, but it's cheap. Talk is cheap. Show me. Because what you're telling me, you don't show me. So if a child living with some people who I do not believe were doing the best by him, they weren't the best for him. And possibly he did not know how to tell people that he was unhappy. He didn't care to live with the Proudfoots. He wanted to be elsewhere, whether it was with Seth or whomever. He wanted out. But possibly he didn't know how to tell his father, I want out of there. I don't like it there. They don't treat me well there. I want to be free. So, Katie, Christopher, the fact that you wanted to be free, and I do believe this, you wanted to be free of Sebastian, well, I believe he felt the same damn way. Checkmate. Double-edged sword. He wanted to be free of you too, but didn't know how to tell you. Because he's a child, an autistic child. So perhaps he could not frame the words to tell you, I'm sick of you too. Come on with it, Queen. I want out of here just as bad as you want me out of here. Oh, I think it went just like that. Sebastian wanted out too. But sadly, he didn't have a choice of how to get out. And that's where we are today. Choices. I do believe these two unalived this boy child for whatever reason. And you're entitled to think what you want. Whatever theory you believe happened, we will probably never know the truth due to the fact that he's been gone a year, almost a year. That tells me that this was well articulated and possibly well planned. That's why you don't have anything. Now, what law enforcement has, they may have more, of course, because they're the ones investigating. So what do you all have pertaining to the disappearance of this boy child? Do you have a lead? Do you have suspects? Do you have evidentiary material from the house, from the car? Do you have other CCTV footage that you have not relayed to the public? Do you have either car belonging to Katie Proudfoot, Christopher Proudfoot, going or coming from the house the 25th to 26th at night in the wee hours? Do you have their car going in any other location in the vicinity of Stafford Court, in or out of the jurisdiction of Hendersonville, Tennessee, or any other domain? What do you have? Will you ever share it with the public? Will there be an arrest? As someone asked me last night about a grand jury indictment, I have no knowledge of a grand jury meeting or anything pertaining to this, because that's why it's called a grand jury, and it's secretive. You're not supposed to know. I'd have no way of knowing about a grand jury meeting. But I'm throwing out all questions. What does the TBI have pertaining to this case of relevance? We've had so much speculation, theories, stories, AI-generated photos, sightings of the child in North Carolina, clothes, pants, shoes, eyeglasses, all type of crazy stuff, dog scents that were not verified. 1,000 different versions about a retention pond, just on and on and on. People jumping out of hats, cars, drones, giving their 411 about Sebastian Rogers, didn't know him from a can of paint. Oh, I got a story to tell. My friend knows this, da, 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 da. But we didn't hear from a friend. We're hearing from a friend of a friend. That ain't good enough for me. I don't know you. I don't know nothing about you as a neighbor over there at Stafford Court. I want to hear from the person that has some direct knowledge, a neighbor that lives across the street, next door. That's who I want to hear from. I don't want to hear from nobody 5, 6 blocks over. Because in the end, that's he said, she said, right? My brother said, my sister said, my husband said. Because what did I tell you? Everything is a version. Beautiful, is it not? Is it still the same paint color? I don't know. This pristine? I don't know. Only 2 people living in there now. It should be. There's no pets running around. Are there? I don't know. One thing we know that's not running around in there is a 16-year-old boy. Having fun, friends, game night, sleepovers. So I want you to think about that for just a second. See, I listen to everything that's said. I do something that most people will not do, and that is listen. See, a lot of you don't listen. When you listen to that 22-minute interview with the news with Katie Proudfoot and Christopher Proudfoot, she was telling us the story, if you were listening, the life of Sebastian. It appeared to me it was a lonely life, possibly exemplary of how Katie Proudfoot lived and still lives. Stay woke. Stay woke. He didn't have any extracurricular activities, but I'm sure if he was, his father would be right there, blah, blah. I want you to think about those words. If he was involved in extracurricular activities. If. Well, Katie, I can weigh that comment 2 ways. If, meaning if he decided to do something, or if you decided to allow him to do something, Seth would have been involved. If also can be weighed, he ain't coming back to be involved in anything. Checkmate. So I'm going to ask the obvious question. Why was your child not involved in curricular activities? You did not work at night. You did not have a night job. You did not have a second shift job, from my understanding. So why didn't your child have hobbies and interests outside of 1008 Stafford Court. Please help me understand. He didn't like to get dirty. He liked outside. Reporter asked you that when you talked about him running. He liked to run. So let's ask that question since he liked to run. He liked playgrounds. Obviously, he still had the mindset of a small child instead of a 15-year-old due to his disability. When did you take your child running anywhere before he went missing? When was the last time he ran outside, ran in the driveway, ran on the grass, ran in the backyard? He loves Minecraft. Hello, Brooke. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome all new subs and viewers. He liked to run. He liked to run around. He loved Minecraft. Seems to me he had a very lonely life. And when I look at you, Katie Proudfoot, I say the same. That basically, come on with it, Queen, because somebody ain't ready for this. Sebastian was living the life of Katie Proudfoot. Checkmate. Come on with it, baby. I'm going to take you to church this morning. So you need not put on your good, fine clothes today and your Sunday shoes. I'm going to give you the church you ain't never had. You would agree, right, Katie Proudfoot, that Sebastian was living your lonely life? Hello, Mimi. Sebastian was living your lonely existence. You went to work, you came home, you did nothing. Sebastian went to school, he came home, he did nothing. Pawpaw's down the road working in Memphis. Didn't seem like a very happy, cohesive existence in this fine neighborhood of a house valued at, let's see, $641,000. Hello, still. You see, this is why I keep saying to people that sometimes what we want, we don't deserve. Sometimes what we need, we don't get because it's not for us. And I'm sure many of you have thought about this in life. You're probably thinking about it now. You think about your own life. Why don't I have this? Why don't I have a better life, better relationship, courtships? Why don't I have more money in the bank? Why am I not as educated as I should be, want to be? Why? Do you ask yourself that sometimes? Why am I here? What is my purpose here on top of this dirt? What purpose do I serve in life? Why can't I have the finer things, nicer things? There's nothing wrong with wanting. It's in the scripture. God says you should have the desires of your heart. You should desire things. You're not human if you don't desire things. But the one thing I've learned about desiring things is that it comes with a price. You see, it comes with a price, desiring things. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I wish I had that. I wish I had that new car. Damn, BMW. Damn, I want this nice house, nice neighborhood. But are you deserving of that? Is this meant for you? Checkmate. You see, this is an illusion. You now know that it is. Because a boy child ran around this facade, this house, outside, inside, but he's not here now. Why is that? So the child was living a lie, just like the people in the house, the Proudfoots who paid a mortgage at this nice home. It was all a lie. And that's the point of life, is it not? That things are not as they seem, as they appear. I think these people were living like most people. They were living a lie, and Lord knows the stories I could tell the viewing audience, those who don't know this channel and haven't followed me. I tell it like a TI is. Sometimes I reserve my opinion. Sometimes I like to wait before I give my opinion on a new story, as not to be disrespectful to the people in the story. But I'm past that stage pertaining to Sebastian Rogers. I can give my opinion freely. I can give my opinion. I don't believe the child is alive. I believe the child was living a lie with these people, and the child only lived a life that was handed to him. He had no choice. He had no options. He did not choose Seth. He did not choose Katie. He did not choose Chris. He did not choose 1008 Stafford Court. And that's what people need to understand about being a child. You don't have any choices. You are dealt the hand that's given to you. Calm down in the chat. Everything you're talking about, I've already discussed in my last live. Just calm down. This here is a lie. Okay? This child was living a lie. Katie Proudfoot, you and Christopher have been living a lie. You've been faking the funk on a nasty dunk. You've been perpetrating yourself as good parents, acting as if you cared for this boy child. But all along, you all have been seething to get rid of him for whatever reason, as I discussed in my last live stream. You were tired, you checked out. But I believe Mr. Proudfoot was here, possibly. He aided in disposing of this boy child. Now, could Katie have done it alone? Of course, people do it all the time. You don't really need help getting rid of somebody. You got some good arms, some good legs. You can stuff a body in a garbage can, a tote, a bag. May take a little longer, but it can be done. Because when you have time, anything is possible. And due to the fact they have a garage, nobody can see in there, perfect place to drag a body out, put it into something, and then get in your car, drive off, dump the body, come back, shut the garage door, and go to sleep. So, Mr. Proudfoot, were you home the 25th and the 26th of 2024? Did you aid Mrs. Proudfoot in disposing of her said child, or either harming her child and or both? Will we get verification that Mr. Proudfoot was not in Memphis, Tennessee, the 25th and or the 26th? Did he drive up, as someone said on the channel last night? He drove up once there was an altercation with the mother and the child. She called him for help. He drove up in the middle of the wee hour night to help her get rid of her son. Accident, intentional. Katie Proudfoot, was there an accident in your home the 25th, the 26th? Did the child become unruly, disobedient? You got upset? You flaked out? You harmed your child, beat up your child, strangled your child? And then you had to figure out a way to get him out of that house and then produce this wild, elaborate story of waking up, going into his room, and he was gone. No shoes, no coat, no phone, no runaway note, no nothing. What's the truth? You see, you're never going to know the truth. But I have a feeling that TBI have something. Somebody moving about the 25th to 26th. But they don't have a body, you see. And some law officials, agencies, they want a body to secure the indictment. I know they did something with the boy, but I need the body because it's helpful, as you saw with the Quentin Simon case. They had her on CCTV footage going to the trailer park, dumping something in the garbage can, car moving about in the general area late night. But they didn't have the body of the baby until they searched the landfill. And sadly, they found remnants of a crushed skull belonging to the toddler. Now we have an indictment. So is this the case here with Sebastian Rogers? Oh, we know somebody came out of that house, the 25th and the 26th, took something out, took a night drive. But we don't have proof of what he put in a vehicle. We just know a car left. What if you all found out Katie Proudfoot left her house, or a car pulled up to the house and went into the driveway and exited out? See, the police are never going to tell you they saw Katie's car leave out that night or early morning. They're never going to tell you that. Never. They will only tell you that when they bring an indictment and they want to give you bits and pieces of the information for the charging document. So this is why I always tell people, it's easy to say they don't got nothing. No, you don't know that. See, they don't have to tell us what they have. I've learned this in every case that I've covered. They always had something. You never knew because they weren't supposed to tell you. And when I look back on Camille McKinney, Quentin Simon, Harmony Montgomery, there was something. They just didn't tell you. Cal City boys, they knew 2 weeks after interviewing the boy children left behind that the boys were dead, the missing boys. But we didn't know that. For 1 whole year, everybody cussed and fussed. And little did we know, they already knew the boys were dead. They just never told us until they read the indictment. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say, Sumner County and TBI have something on the Proudfoots. They just haven't told us. Because what did I tell you last night in my live? That what the Proudfoots have told the news, they didn't tell their family, and they didn't tell YouTube, Nancy Grace, because I don't have to tell you what I told the police. And just like with the Megan Boswell case, how many versions did Megan Boswell tell the police before finally admitting the baby was dead? I rest my case. The fact that with the Wells case, the father tells us, oh yeah, they talked to us at least 7 times. That's a lot of times. And then poof, voila, 3.5 years later, still, the child is missing still. Because if it's orchestrated and it's planned, you can get rid of the body better and evidence better when it's planned. Say, whoa. Now, some crimes are accidental, spur of the moment, and the person does a good cleanup job. Okay? Especially if you have time. But God knows you can exact a crime better if it is pre-planned, because you have time to clean up. And I think it's very interesting that in both cases of S&S, Summer, Sebastian, 2 white children going missing in rural areas, and they were out with their mother all damn day. And poof, voila, they go missing when they return home, allegedly. But you see, the gist of the story, and I want you to listen to me very carefully, those stories are eerily similar because you don't have proof that either child made it home. Checkmate. You have no proof Summer Wells ever made it back to the compound. Sebastian Rogers, same thing. You have no proof he ever made it back to 1008 Stafford Court. Prove it. Prove it. You can't. The only way it can be proven if someone has CCTV footage or verify they saw the child get out of a vehicle, walk into a house. And you don't have that in either case. No one has said, yes, I saw him get out, go in the house. I saw her get out of the car, go in the house. You don't have it. Now, I don't know what the boys told law enforcement in the Wells case. They're never going to share that with us. Same thing here. Is there somebody that can say, yes, I saw the boy get out. I saw the boy walk to the garbage can that night. You've heard nothing. You've heard nothing. That's all you've heard really pertaining to Sebastian Rogers is a bunch of he said and she said. I need a receipt. If I don't see the person's mouth moving, it means nothing to me. Because even with your mouth moving, it does not mean you're telling the truth. So even if a neighbor said, I saw him, I have to decide if I want to believe that or not. And I find it very interesting that not one neighbor has spoken to the news directly and showing their face or even hidden to say, this is what I noticed at Stafford Court address. This is what I noticed between the child and the father and the stepfather and the mother. This is how many times I saw the child coming outside playing. You just got somebody running, spinning a web of pressure washer and yelling at the kid. I want to see your fucking mouth move. I want to hear you say it to the news. This is what I saw going on. And I get it. You may fear for your safety because you got to live next door across the street. I totally get it. But I would still prefer the news come and say, hey, we spoke with someone who has an eye view of this house. They will not go on camera, but they believe the child was abused and they witnessed abuse. I would accept that better. Where is this case going? Number one, is the child alive or deceased? The child living with somebody else? If so, why would he be hidden out? Did the father, stepfather, go to this house the 25th, 26th, but was in Memphis, but went to do a cleanup job, checkmate? Or he was already in town, but they had to lie and say that he wasn't. But then that's a hell of a lot of spin when people have CCTV footage and doorbell cameras on their house to say, oh, Mr. Proudfoot was home. His truck was there all weekend. Stay woke. But if a person fears for their safety, they're not going to come out and tell the news, yeah, I saw Mr. Proudfoot going and coming the weekend. Yeah, I saw him going in and out of the garage, parking in the driveway. Yeah, I saw it. And then we have to ask the ultimate question. If Mr. Proudfoot wasn't at the home the 25th, the 26th, why not? We hear all these rumors that there was rift in the house between the participants, the child. He wasn't supposed to be there, blah, blah, blah. I need a receipt. Because what I have to ask myself, why wouldn't you be allowed to live in your house? Who wants to pay a mortgage on a house that they can't stay in? Stay woke. Mr. Proudfoot, why were you not at this residence the weekend of 23rd to the 25th? That would be Friday to Sunday. You were only 3 hours away. That's a little hop, skip to Hendersonville. You've worked hard all week. You want to go home, chill, spend time with your so-called family. A family I believe you did not care for, especially the child. He's not your child. You didn't care anything about this boy. But yet, you don't go home. Why not? So see, that's spinning a story there itself. That something was not right with these people for this man not to go to his own house. Very nice house at that, is it not? Wow, beautiful. Very fortunate people to live in such a nice home. Some people can't even afford a house. Can't even afford rent an apartment. But these bobbleheads get to live in a really nice house, but they are unworthy. They are unfit, undeserving of a nice home. I said that, and I meant every fucking word. Mr. Proudfoot, were you there? 25th, 26th? Were you lurking about? Pulled up in the wee of the morning, night, to help your wife dispose of her biological child? Did you come home that weekend but possibly stayed at your parents' house? Bingo card. Come on with it, Queen. Ain't nobody listening. Hot damn. Hot damn. Damn, I didn't even think about that. You were in the vicinity, perhaps. Let's go there. Let's role play. You were in Hendersonville or the general Hendersonville area, 20, 30 minutes away, possibly at your parents' house. But what we have to say to ourselves, if that is true, why would you not be at your house where you pay rent, mortgage? Why not? Why would you not be at your own house that is your house? You would not be at that house if it's true you couldn't go to your house because of allegations against Sebastian of child abuse. And you were told not to go back if we're to believe these rumors. But you could go to your parents' house. You could meet up with Katie. But then somebody would say, well, then where would the boy child be? Sitting in the car while they get out and play kissy face? She let somebody keep him? And who would that be? Allegedly, it had been a while since Seth seen the child. So what is the truth? Sir, were you in the vicinity of Stafford Court? At that house or mommy and daddy's house? You came up, but you couldn't stay at this house. Why not? I'm asking all questions. Because there's a leak in this old building. There's something not right with this case. And as I said to people in my last live stream, you may never get the truth pertaining to the disappearance of this boy child. Because in order to get the truth pertaining to Sebastian, that means somebody would have to tell the truth. And you're not going to get that with this group. Something out of this world would have to happen for Katie or Chris to tell the truth, or somebody else having knowledge of what happened to the boy child, how he was treated, to come forward to say, this is what I know, what I heard, blah, blah, blah. What happened here? What happened inside of this house, the 25th, 26th? Did the boy child come back to this door or around there to the garage the 25th on a Sunday after going out to eat with his mother? See, you have to start at the beginning, as you heard her say during the interview. Everything was good that morning. Everything was great. You see, I listen to everything. The fact she has to look at her husband to answer a question when speaking to the reporter. She doesn't give the reporter eye contact. Times Christopher Proudfoot would answer the questions when the question was not directed to him. The fact that he laughed when the reporter asked him about the other case, which is about Faith. He tells us that case don't have nothing to do with Sebastian, but it has everything to do with Sebastian. What the hell are you talking about? You have a whole fucking kid missing. How is it not relevant? It is relevant. Then you got to ask the jurisdiction of the case. Who ordered the child to come to Tennessee, Faith, last year? Tennessee judge or the judge out west? The fact that Faith His mom, Nina, knows a lot about Christopher Proudfoot because she's had personal dealings with him. And she had to be scared shitless to allow her child to come down here to stay with these people, knowing how he is, knowing how they tricked her when she came to Tennessee, held her child hostage, and now a whole kid's missing. Are you paying attention? See, the signs have always been there that Christopher Proudfoot is not right and his family ain't right. So what you have to do is use deduction. If they can hold a child hostage, a baby, you can also get a whole kid missing. Boom. I'm woke. Are you woke? Say it again, Quay. If you can hold a whole child hostage from their biological mother, you can get a whole child missing. And Nina knows this. That's why she don't want her child here. Hell no, I don't want my baby down there. I know what they did to me. How they tricked me, lured me down here, and tried to keep my kid. So, Nina thinks about that. How could she not? And I would have told the court, I'm not sending my baby down there. I got grounds to keep my kid right here because they have a whole child missing, and they tried to keep my child from me when I was last there trying to reconcile my marriage with Christopher Proudfoot. Hell to the now. And you should have taken your baby and put your baby on Indian ground and stand on the ground to say, I'm not leaving this place, send my baby nowhere. On the grounds of how they treated me there, holding my baby hostage, and now they have a whole child missing from that address. I can't see a judge denying that. And I hope that she is still in cahoots with the courts to let them know, I don't want my child going back down there. They have a whole kid missing. What did I say in one of my live streams last year? Nina should tell a judge, I will produce my child when they produce Sebastian Rogers. Checkmate. You produce Sebastian, I'll produce Faith. Tit for tat. Even swap ain't no swindle. So, Christopher, Katie, play a game. Let's play a game of even swap. Faith can return to Tennessee when you produce Sebastian Rogers. Hot damn. Come on with it, Quay. You produce Sebastian, you can see Faith again. Even swap ain't no swindle. I don't know where he is. I don't know where he is. You can come back. You're not in trouble. Come again? He ain't in no trouble. Well, what did he do? All fluff for the news. Rocking back and forth. Fake crying. Looking at Chris with your mouth open like a duck out of water. Can't even answer a simple question. Got to look at Christopher Proudfoot for what? Oh, that's right. The puppet master. Oh. Cat got your tongue? What are you looking at Chris for? She's talking to you. You can't answer? Stay woke, everybody. I'm woke. You see, she was telling on herself in that interview, rocking back and forth, rocking back and forth. How many times have we seen that with guilty mothers and fathers when they got arrested? You go back and look at the interview they gave to the news. They all rock back and forth, back and forth. They either rock side to side, as you saw with Cal City, Jacqueline Trezess, when she did her first and only interview. rock back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, standing up. Same thing, Katie Proudfoot sitting in the chair. She's going back and forth, back and forth. Jacqueline went side to side. This crazy bitch, back and forth. I know they could be around here somewhere. I think they're in somebody's house. No, they ain't in nobody's house. They dead. You killed them kids. They only gave one interview up until their arrest for the Cal City boys. Pay attention to the details, everybody. When you look at these interviews of these parents, they are all eerily similar in their behavior and how they carry themselves. Exactly, still. Agape, mouth open. They always rock back and forth or side to side. Nervousness. Can't be still to tell the truth. And that's all Katie did. Back and forth. But we go to Nancy Grace. We act like we're in church. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Who the fuck is Nancy Grace? And Nancy called you out, did she not? Katie? What are you doing in Memphis at an RV park? You're not working. Your husband's at work all day. Why did you need to be down there? Your child is missing. Well, he had to go to work. What did Nancy tell you? And so what? What's your point? Exactly. Chris had to go to work, not you. So you took off from work with a missing child to go hang out in an RV park with a fucking dog or dogs. Did I get that correct? So you're telling the world, I don't give a fuck about my kid. I don't care that he's missing. I'm getting ready to go be with the puppet master. Or shall I say my little Teletubby. Now, Queen, you stop that. I won't. See, you were sending a message to the universe then. My priority is Christopher Proudfoot, not Sebastian Rogers. Because you see, Sebastian came before Christopher Proudfoot. Come on, Queen, preach. But in your universe, your bubble, Christopher Proudfoot reigns supreme. Checkmate. I don't give a fuck about this kid. I love my husband. I love this Teletubby. He's my everything. I'm tired of him. I don't want my kid no more. I love my husband. He everything to me. Obviously. Your child meant nothing to you because possibly you were never connected to Sebastian as a mother, carrying him in the womb. Thereafter, you chose the military over your child. You had big goals and dreams, and look where it all ended. Right here in the great state of Tennessee. What did I just say? Even swap ain't no swindle? So your life from California led you here, Stafford Court, to end up having a missing 15-year-old boy. Wow, what a story. You are a lonely woman. And that's why your child had a lonely life with no friends, no extracurricular activities. And what are you going to tell us? Well, he's autistic. He don't like to do nothing. He don't want to do nothing. You don't know what he would like until you introduce him to something. Did you ask your child what he would like to do? Hey, you want to play the flute, the harmonica? You want to be in the band? Did you ever ask your son what he would like to do? Did you ever talk to the teachers at the school to see how he interacted with the other students, his behavior in school? We believe that he had a few issues in school. But the point is, did you inquire about offering your child possibilities to be involved in extracurricular activities? And he could be involved in things that didn't have to be correlated with the high school. Duh. But when you have a dodo bird mother, this is expected. I'm not going to inquire because I don't care. I'm trying to figure out a way to get rid of this kid. So once again, as I asked last night, Seth, were you going to actually take the child in? Because we have so many possibilities of what could have happened to the child. They are endless. Deliberate homicide, accidental. Some think he ran away. Some think he's hidden. Some may say he was human trafficked. I say no. I say intentional. I say somebody got tired of rearing an autistic kid. They wanted out. They no longer wanted to be engaged. They knew in a couple of years he would be grown, and they would be stuck raising an autistic boy, and he would be on their hip until he dies or they died first. Checkmate. That's what I think. I think they knew the catch-all. We want this kid out of here. We've talked about putting him in a group home. Seth had reservations, but perhaps she thought Seth ain't gonna take this kid in. I ain't getting ready to sit around and wait for Seth to make a decision. I'm gonna get rid of him now. I want him out. I want my husband back in his house. If that is true, once again, all speculations and allegations, but we're gonna role play and say it's true. He couldn't be in the house with the kid. So mommy says, I want my husband here. I want my husband to come home. It's bad enough he works all day in another city. I can't have him not being able to come home. And he probably was fed up too. Hey, I want to come home. I live there. I pay bills there. It's not fair I can't come home to my house. We got to do something. So poof, voila. The kid's missing after a long day of running around with Katie Proudfoot. Don't you find that interesting? All them houses in the neighborhood. Oh, Queen, don't do that. Oh, but I'm going to. Just like with the Wells. Rural back road full of fucking houses, but your child goes missing with 3 other children in the same house. Bingo card. Come on with it, Queen. Preach. In the middle of the holler, little girl running around with her mother in Kingsport, 30 minutes away. She to this broke up ass driveway and mangy ass shack. 3 other children were in that house alone all fucking day. Nobody kidnaps them. But then when the little white girl returns, who looks like a boy, poof, voila, she goes missing. Now let's mosey on over to Hendersonville. Toot, 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 toot. Autistic boy running around all day with his mommy. They're over here, they're over there, over here, over there. He was in a good mood. Everything was great. And then they go to the steakhouse and eat. She seems somewhat disengaged at the table. Let me throw that in there because I didn't say that last night. She seemed disengaged. They leave. Poof, voila. Wake up the next morning. He's gone. All these big old boy houses in the neighborhood, almost worth $1 million. Nobody broke in the door. Nobody broke in here, around Skylight. Nobody broke out. All those big boy houses, but they decided to what? Knock on his window, whisper through the window, hey kid, come out. Come out, come out, let's play. I'm woke. Are you woke? Christopher Proudfoot, let me talk to you. Since you're the ringleader of conversation, what happened at this address, the 25th and the 26th? Did you hurt the child? Were you in the vicinity? Did you slide your ass into this house and do something to the kid? Because everybody's been putting it off on Katie Proudfoot. Maybe you were in the vicinity of the house. Maybe you did come to the house. Maybe you were here. What if we find out Katie went and picked up Papa Boy? and brought him back in the house with her kid that weekend, but his truck was somewhere else. And that was to show that it didn't look like Christopher came home. Oh, shit. Nobody thought about that. Damn, Queen, come on with it. Who's to say he parked his truck at his parents' house, Katie went and picked him up, brought him back to the house, and then she went out lollygagging with her kid, and everybody thought Christopher Proudfoot would be gone. But all along, he's been sitting in the house the whole time. Bingo card. Damn. That damn Queen. Nobody thought about that. We're 1 year in and I haven't heard anybody say that except for Queen. What if you find out Chris was in there the whole fucking time? Shut your mouth. Woo! I got a sharp pain just went through my damn left shoulder on that one. What if Christopher was in there all along, everybody? Ding dong, the witch is dead. Exactly. Exactly. We've been talking around in circles for almost a year about coulda, woulda, shoulda. And nobody ever mentioned, to my knowledge, on this network of YouTube, that possibly Christopher Proudfoot was in that house all along. Hello, Paula. And I don't know why it never dawned on me. I heard the rumors about this satellite imagery or whatever of his truck being in the vicinity, but then it hit me just now before going live, or really as I'm sitting here talking to you. What if he was in the house all alone? What if he came into town, parked his truck somewhere in La La Land, mommy daddy's house, and mommy went and picked up her husband and brought him home any damn way? If you all believe the allegations that he abused the kid and he wasn't supposed to be at the house. So you're never going to know because you have to have a receipt to the truth. And these two are never going to tell you the truth. His family, they are not going to tell you the truth. So everything at this moment is speculation and people digging up shit and court records. But I need to hear it from the parents. I need a receipt, not speculation, not rumor, not gossip. I need these two bobbleheads to tell me, the news, hey, we were having problems. Somebody called in and said my son was being abused by him. My husband couldn't stay there. That's what I want to hear. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. So Christopher Proudfoot, I'm going to ask you one more time. Were you at this house the 25th to 26th of February, 2024? Did you come into town and hide your car somewhere and stayed in this house? Number one. Did you come to this house and park your truck in the driveway or the house? Did you unalive Sebastian Rogers and dispose of the boy child? Did your wife unalive the child accidentally, on purpose, and you came in as the cleanup guy into town? Or you were already in town staying at your mother's or somewhere else? What are your options, everybody? Take the polls on my community page. Let's go back to my community page and see how many people have voted on the said commentary. I may play a little bit of my last live just to give some of you a synopsis of the conversations that I had last night with one of the panel guests. All right, more of you have voted since I went live this morning. Sebastian Rogers' case being solved. 64% yes, 20% no, 16% not sure. Sumner County TBI, do they have lead suspects? 62% yes, up neck to neck with the first question of the case being solved. You said 62% said, you all said yes, 24% of you said no, 14% of you are not sure. So it's almost neck to neck of the case being solved and them having leads and suspects. Very interesting. Is the child alive or deceased? 11% say alive, 67% says deceased, 22% says not sure. I also asked you all about Katie Proudfoot's interview, which will be aired this Wednesday on the 26th of February. Same day as Queen's mom's birthday. Never told many of you all that. But yes, my mother was born February 26th. God rest her soul. Was Christopher Proudfoot home the 25th or the 26th? 60% of you said yes, he was. 13% says no. 27% of you said not sure. If Sebastian Rogers was alive by Katie and or Chris, was it accidental or intentional? 43% accident, 36% intentional. 21% of you say you are not sure. So more of you think it was an accident. Very interesting. I also take my polls pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs. Any story that I don't cover, I will put an update on my an update on my community page pertaining to breaking news. I do not talk about every subject matter. Naturally, I don't have that kind of time. But if there's a story I think is interesting, I will post a video to my community page just to keep you all abreast of the latest breaking news. 55 people voted. The video released the other day of a figure walking around the neighborhood 1 block over from Stafford Court. Is it relevant or not? 22% of you said it is relevant. 53% said it's not. 25% of you said not sure. Police say it's not relevant. Is it Sebastian in the video? 7% say it's him. 67% of you said it's not him. 25% of you are not sure. So neck to neck, there's 25% voting not sure on the relevancy of the video and if it's Sebastian. Very interesting. Where is this case going? Will there be an arrest soon? Yes, check out my last live. I'm going to play a little bit of that live for those who did not listen to it. It's a very long live. Naturally, I'm not going to play all of it because I want to keep you all along here on this beautiful Sunday morning here in East Tennessee, where I live. I live in Knoxville, Tennessee. For those who did not know, welcome to the Vault Excel. Follow this network. I have an extensive 1,000+ videos pertaining to true crime and breaking news. I talk about various topics, so don't be stunned if you come in one day and I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about nasty men. I'm Queen. I talk about everything. This is not a one-stop shop. Accidental. Let's take a poll live. Let me get my pen and paper. God knows I need somebody to help me out. We're going to do 1 and 2. God, I hope I can keep up. Accident will be a 1. Intentional will be a 2. How many people in the chat believe that it was an accident? $60 people watching. How many people believe that Katie or Christopher Proudfoot accidentally unalived the boy child? You say intentional? Okay, that's 2. No to what, Brooke? You got to say 1 or 2. 1 is an accident, 2 is intentional. So far, I have 2 for intentional. Okay. Got 1. Hold on, let me go back. 6, 7. Let's see, let me go back up here. 1 second. 2. Hello, Painted Black. I say 1 because I think something went too far. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 for accident. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 intentional. 4 for accident. So a few of you believe it was intentional, not an accident. Hello, Eddie. Well, what's the truth? What is the truth? I don't know. I really don't know. Hold on. 1 second. Let me try to find my content, everybody. Welcome to the Vault Excel, everybody. Once again, the search continues for Mr. Jones, Gary Jones, on Oconee Lake down in Georgia. His fiancee was found floating last Monday. They've already had her funeral on Thursday. He is still missing and believed to be in the water. I will bring you an update pertaining to that as well, or just play, said information. I think as you, Chris, was in the house when they got home and Sebastian had a temper tantrum. Why? Because he was there? Is that what you think? You think he had a meltdown because he was there? And they do have faith as well as Seth. Okay. Let's go back to the beginning a little bit of this video. You all don't care anything about this kid. You started off whimpering on TV, then you never did another interview, then you talked to Nancy Grace and a bunch of YouTubers. And look where that got you. And I think at some point you realize, oh, we need to start for YouTube because it's not serving us well. We don't look good up there. We've talked about this child like a dog. Indeed, you did. And some of you knuckleheads, you still believe these people are innocent. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm not here to argue with nobody with 2 feet about Sebastian Rogers. Not now, not never. You believe whatever the hell you want. If you believe unicorns can fly and they have painted toenails, that's your prerogative. It's not mine. On Wednesday, the news is going to play an interview with the PROUDFOOT. Whoa, Katie, you look a little chunky there. Oh my goodness. Got you some new glasses. I say life has been treating you quite well. Look like you've been eating a little bit of green eggs and ham. Shut your mouth. You've been living quite nicely since your son's been
baby.
missing. Shut up, Angela.
Hello, Seth.
You know I'm gonna bring you business, but that's who I am. I'm Queen. Looks like somebody's been living mighty, mighty fine.
Say hello to Seth Rogers. He's in the chat.
Imagine that. But that's usually the point, is it not? We're just gonna move on with the way things have been going. We're gonna do us. That's what people do. Dog dies, we go get another dog. Cat dies, we get another cat. Boyfriend breaks up with us, or we break up with a boyfriend, we go get a new boyfriend. Car stops working, too much money, go get a new car. But kid goes get a new kid now, do we? Checkmate. But we continue to live as if we never had a kid. Oh, that sounds about right. We're living as if we never had a kid. That's the motivation in the first place, right? We didn't want the kid, so we're gonna go ahead and continue as if he ain't coming back. Shut your mouth. And people will bicker, you know. Well, when is the appropriate time to move on? Oh, you hear this all the time when people pass away. When is the appropriate time to date? Not 2 days later. How about that? Damn, can the dead turn over first? Can the dead just, you know, get comfortable down there in a hole before we just move on? Same thing with a child missing. Do we just get comfortable? Because he was ever wanted. It's obvious. You see, you lead by example. I'm still saying, I can show you better than I can tell you. Exactly. I can show you better than I can tell you. So I'm showing you I never had 2 fucks about this kid. Glad he's gone. Good riddance. Now back to my green eggs and ham. Or shall I say, steak and potato. Don't mind me if I get a little country. Green eggs, steak, and potato. And we know it ain't no sweet potato. Potato, you get my point. What is with all this nonsense, Mr. and Mrs. PROUDFOOT? Suing people. Oh, they're stalking us. Oh, they're bothering us. You two are built like 2 little Mack trucks. Who the hell are you afraid of? Ah, yes, Queen is woke. Thou shalt put fear in the YouTuber.
Thank you, sweetheart. Prayers to you. Justice for your son.
Don't you talk about me. Oh, don't you talk about my son. Don't you talk about us. So what is it that you're offended by? Talking about Sebastian or talking about you two? I think it's more about talking about you two. That you two have been some dirty birds. You have. My. And now all of a sudden want to do an interview 1 year later. Shut your mouth. Stop this nonsense now. Now, Queen is the actress. I've been in a movie. Mr. and Mrs. PROUDFOOT, you have not. Although I was just an extra, but still, I got a little street cred. So help me out. This foolishness
videos and look at the guy, look at him. Look at what? People going in and out of a steakhouse. People going in and out of a steakhouse. People sitting here actually dissecting random strangers who probably don't appreciate everybody talking about them on YouTube, going in and out of a damn steakhouse. Because I'd be pissed off. The hell you doing talking about me walking in a steakhouse? What were you doing there? I was eating a steak and potato. What are you doing? Worrying about what I'm doing there? Checkmate. Oh, he handed her something. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Oh, there's something in her pocket. There's the phone ringing. Blah, 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 blah. Unicorns and fairies. And yet still, no Sebastian. That's my point. You can think whatever the hell you want to think, but where's the child? And when that guy spoke on the news with the rescue, what I call a rescue ministry over there, he even said it on the news. He didn't bite his tongue. I don't know what to think as far as the sense. There's nothing conclusive. Now, he didn't have to say it. And he didn't say it to anybody. Just told his truth. That's his truth. So that's my point. You don't know what to believe, because if you're not hearing it from law enforcement, why are you believing anything other than? You all just let random people come up to social media and tell you anything. This shows you how green Americans are. That anybody just gets up on a channel, a panel, and starts talking, and you spread that shit around like peanut butter. Minus the jelly. And he said, and she said, and Pookie said, and Bubba said. Well, where's the kid? I'll wait. I've got a lot of time.
Where's Sebastian?
Where is the kid? 1 year later? So let's pretend we are some dodo birds.
Exactly. We know where Seth was.
And we're going to say that's the kid walking around the neighborhood. So what was he doing? Have to win up stat. We're going to role play. Allegedly, that's Sebastian walking around playing in between the cars. But where'd he go? What happened to the kid? I don't know. I just listen to what everybody else says. I can't think for myself. I don't have a brain.
Ah, preach, Wayne.
I'm waiting. The kid walked out without a phone, a coat, shoes, to play in between the cars. Is that what I'm saying? People watching, I don't hear anything. Help me out. Look over there. There he is. He's playing between the cars. Something he's never done, allegedly. Never ran away. Didn't have any friends. Nobody came to visit him. He didn't go play at other children's homes. He didn't visit other neighbors' homes. And on this cold night in February, he decided to go outside of his house with the goose. Well,
Where'd he go?
I don't hear anything. Is there anybody out there listening?
Excuse me.
Have the queen.
Did the child go out of the
And
house?
these people acting like they're so concerned. Oh, we're going to hire an investigator. Oh, so you hired somebody to talk for you. You all had no problem with talking on social media, especially that one damn hillbilly with the damn mullet. Walkie-talkie. He should be a reporter, Christopher Proudfoot. Quit your day job, honey. Go work for WSMD.
Thank you, Steele.
Or WKRN. Because you know you can talk up a storm. Then all of a sudden, dead silence. Man down, woman down. And then poof, 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 poof. Here comes this infamous steakhouse video where everybody was losing their damn mind. Queen, did you see it? Queen, did you see it? Every waking day, God forbid you put up a post about it. Folks just coming in on donkeys and horses and everything, telling me about what they saw. Didn't you see it? Didn't you see it? Hell no, I didn't see nothing. I didn't see anything. I saw a mother sitting at the table with her kid. He seemed to be hungry. They left out. There might have been a pause before she got in her car, what she was doing. I don't know. Maybe she's letting another person out so they can get out of the car. I don't know. Can't see. But then now, 2025, right before the 26th, we get this video that the police say, this is not relevant to anything. So I'm going to ask the person that released it to the public, what is your point? What point are you trying to make with this video? You're trying to tell us that A, it's Sebastian and he walked off into the world and what, passed away, hitchhiked out of somebody's car, truck, they hurt him, harmed him. He went selling some water somewhere. Where? Or this was some guy out lurking about, and what? He tapped on Sebastian's window. Come out, come out. Where are you going with this? I'm sick of you two. I am sick of you two. I swear for God, I'm sick of you two.
Well, Castle, I don't know why they thought that. He's the father.
When God was handing out brains, you two stepped out of line.
Shut your mouth.
Literally. You two stepped out of line. Hey, Chris, Katie, where you going? Don't you need a brain? Nah, we'll pass. We're military. We don't need a brain. Could have fooled me.
Damn, Queen, that's cruel.
Hot tamale, anyone?
You know I'm gonna give you the business.
She sit up there on the news last year like the fucking Tin Man from The Wiz. Who are you crying for? Huh? You're crying for Sebastian? Well.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, G.
Now you went real quick. But they said Jumping Jack Flash, Jumping Jane. She got up quick.
Come on, preach, Queen.
She got brand new. Followed her husband down to Memphis to stay in some damn RV park while the child was missing 1 month. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you?
Exactly.
1 month, child missing. Poof, voila, mama gone.
Exactly.
Damn.
Come on, preach,
You
Queen.
must know the black lady up in Pontiac, Michigan. Come on with it, Queen. They don't want to hear it. You know, you know the black lady up there, Katie? What's her name? Come on with it, Queen. You don't get a little older. Miss Bryant. You know Kelly Bryant? Hey, wait a minute. Katie and Kelly. Shut your mouth. Damn, Queen, you good. Now, that's a universe topic. Come on with it. K and K. White woman
Thank you,
does
sweetheart.
something to her child, keeps it moving with her fat-faced husband, and then a black woman leaves her 3 children in a squalor of a condo, and now she's sitting in jail with a big boy bond, $250 million. Shut your mouth. Rightfully so.
Got
to be more careful.
Woo, have mercy.
And honey, she's sitting up there looking all hot but a mess, huh?
Yes.
No, she mad. Can't wear that lace front and them lashes and that lip gloss. Can't pose for the camera. Take all them little selfies half naked. Woo! The universe is hell, is it not? And then we come all the way down to Tennessee, rock bottom Egypt. Have these 2 folks walking around like they don't even have a kid missing. Fuck it, we gone. See, let me tell you something I've learned about folks. What they call it, out of sight, out of mind. You can talk shit about people when you know they ain't gonna come back and say anything. Now, when people get on a lie book and they talk shit, they may mention a person's name, they may not. But in this case of a child, it's a little bit different, you understand? They talking shit about the kid because they know he ain't getting ready to tell nothing. He ain't getting ready to say nothing. And how would you know that? I'll let that sit right there. Because you know he's not coming back. And we're a year later, ting, 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 ting. He hasn't surfaced to come back and say, Katie, Christopher, why you up there on YouTube talking about me like a damn dog?
Woo, come on, preach, Quay.
Why you up here talking about me like a damn dog, like I don't exist, like I don't got no damn feelings? Oh, because I'm autistic, I ain't got no feelings? That's right, I'm autistic, I ain't got no friends, don't nobody like me. So you didn't have no problem with getting rid of me. Checkmate. And you can talk about me like a damn dog because you know I can't talk back. Ain't that right?
Amen.
And I think the father had some type of problem with acknowledging that possibly his child wasn't coming back. But as I told everybody, that's Seth's way, not my way. I'm not the mother or father of a missing child. So I can't tell that man how to feel. But I can definitely talk about the other 2 robots. You are $8 short on acting like you care about this boy. Now all of a sudden you want to do an interview with the news. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Now what the hell you going to tell the news? You going to get up there and do the 10 man again? Tee-hee! Tee-hee! I miss my boy. I just couldn't talk to nobody. You don't understand. I miss my child. I miss my baby, and I just couldn't talk to the news, and I just couldn't talk to nobody. Well, but you sure was yes ma'am, no ma'am with that damn Nancy Grace. Shut your mouth. If I didn't know better, y'all talk to Nancy Grace like she was a damn FBI. Well, come on with it, Queen. Yes ma'am, no ma'am. Well, damn. But you couldn't talk to nobody else.
Until now.
Interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. A couple of YouTubers. My mistake. And all this pretending to be different people in chats and stuff. Different profiles. Those were accusations some of you put out about Mr. Proudfoot. He was pretending to be other people, calling in and pretending to be other people, playing on platforms. You see, let me explain something to you all, because a lot of you just really don't get it. You get what you entertain.
Come on, preach, Queen.
Say it again, Queen.
Woo. That's it.
You get what you entertain. You entertain the foolishness, that's what you gonna get.
Amen. Come on.
Childish games, foolish. So that's what you gonna get. A fool's way.
Amen.
See, I don't entertain that type of nonsense. All of that nonsense for a like interview, yeah, we're gonna go there too. Some of you YouTubers, y'all know y'all was down with the bullshit. Y'all still with it. See, I don't entertain y'all either. Y'all are distant memory to Queen. Because when I checked out, I checked fully out. And I let people know, it means to me because I'm not interested. I'm not your average YouTuber. Thank you, Jesus. I got my wits about me. I'm not that thirsty. See, in the scripture, it says in Psalms, thou shalt not sit at the table with the wicked.
Woo, have
Say it
mercy.
again, Queen.
Say it.
Thou shalt not sit at the table with the wicked. So you all were entertaining the Proudfoots like he was number 47. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. And you see what's going on now with folks who've been entertaining number 47. Look at what they get. Ding, 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 ding. Come on, Queen, preach. I sure am. And it ain't even Sunday yet. See what you get when you sit at the table with the wicked. Because a lot of you are disobedient. You're disobedient. But I don't see how these people can walk around and be happy. How can you be happy?
Amen.
Your damn kid's missing. You don't speak to the father. See, I knew right then what time of day it was. When I heard Seth say on the news they weren't speaking, I said, oh, Suki now. We getting somewhere. See, I don't need all that extra fluff that everybody else put on, all these gazillion interviews with, $2 YouTubers and shit. I read between the lines and I read what I see. And when I see and I hear a man say, hey, the mama and the step-pawpaw don't talk to me, I already knew what time of day it was. I said, shit, they done checked out. They done checked out and they done cut the father off at the ankle. Checkmate. Did somebody hear what I said?
Absolutely done.
They cut Seth off at the ankles. And Lord knows that man talked and he talked and went on every show he could talk to people. See, the Proudfoots were telling you everything you need to know right then.
Come on. Come on.
You know how embarrassing that is to go on a live broadcast and tell people the mother of the child is not speaking to you? Don't you know how humiliating that is? And you know the people are sitting there looking like, what the hell kind of hillbilly shit is this?
Yes, Knight. Ultimatum.
What type of hillbilly shit is this? The mother's not talking to you. What do you mean? The step-pawpaw's not talking to you, but let that round-faced fucker tell it. Oh, me and Seth, we talked all the time. And what, Katie, she need permission to talk to her ex-husband? He was good enough to screw and make a baby with him. Come on, Queen, preach.
I'm giving
give it to you today, baby.
Amen. Amen.
Seth was good enough to have sex with him and make a child. Oh, but then when he go missing, I don't have anything to say to the father. We don't have anything to say to Seth. Well, ain't this a bitch?
Woo, have mercy.
You ain't got nothing to say to him. But everybody was so close.
Right.
Well, let me think about this for just a second. A teenager goes missing. He doesn't hang out. He's not on drugs. He's not a drinker. He don't got no friends. He don't socialize with nobody in the neighborhood. He can't drive a car. Ain't got a car. He ain't got a moped, a bicycle, nothing. He goes, poof, while I'm missing. And all of a sudden, the parents ain't talking to each other. Ding, 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 ding. Why y'all need a YouTube to help you out? Because I didn't need no help.
Amen.
And Chris said this. And Katie said this. And he was on such and such program. And he was on such and such panel. I said, do you hear yourself? You all sound like a bunch of babbling idiots. Why are you going back repeating what the fuck these motherfuckers had to say about Sebastian or cookies and rainbows, ice cream and soda pop bottles? He said and she said.
Exactly.
What's your point? So now you see how stupid everybody sound. Going back repeating about what these folks have said on YouTube, and now it's almost a year later that the child went missing, He is not visible. He ain't came up for air nowhere. Nowhere. You're welcome, sweetheart. Nowhere. And now she getting ready to go tell the news what? Katie, what you getting ready to tell the news? Please enlighten us. Give me a I want a preview before Winston gets here. Because I'm going to definitely have some whiskey on this little table when I play the content. And I might show myself if I'm feeling kind of frisky. What do you have to tell us about Sebastian? Or as somebody in the chat said, you're going to do what? Talk about yourself? Oh my goodness, I've just been so distraught. Can't you see? I've got a double chin. I've put on weights. I've got new glasses. I have just been beside myself. My child's been missing. And I know it looks bad. I didn't talk to the news. And I know Christopher should have said all those ugly things that he said about my child. I'm a bad mother. But you don't know what I've been going through. You have no idea what I've been going through. It's been heart-wrenching without my child. It's going to go kind of like that, Katie. I think I'll eat another piece of hot tamale on that one.
Tell it, Queen.
The link is in the chat. You got something you want to say about this video that the police says is not relevant? Hit that link. Join the Queen. Make this live count. Make it go viral.
Let's hear what one of the guests has to say about this nonsense. Hold on, y'all.
Well,
I don't think he was in Memphis, no.
Okay.
But I do, you know, they did.
Who took the child out then?
I think, well, you know, have you seen the videos about the geofencing on his vehicle?
Not really.
Very sad.
There's the talk on those, you know, show on the video on the YouTubers that say that there is geofencing that the police have where his vehicle is in the vicinity of the backyard, that water.
Well, who has that proof? Who has that proof that the police got it? Because the police ain't told us that.
Yeah, the police have not told us that, but I don't keep track of stuff the way I should because I'm doing. But there is supposedly geofencing that shows that his vehicle was in the vicinity in the back of that property. So that's not, you know, that's not something that the police are talking about, I guess. But I imagine that, I mean, they use geofencing all the time.
Ebony said Chris told us. I don't know. I didn't hear it. I don't watch anything where he has his mouth open.
Chris is the one that talked about the geofencing?
I don't do that. I'm not going to listen to nobody that I think killed a kid.
Yeah, I didn't know that he was the one that was saying it.
But why would he implicate himself when he knows that people thought he was in Memphis and that's what they originally put out to the public? Exactly. Why would I implicate myself being here near a crime scene when originally I'm supposed to be in Memphis? That don't make any sense.
Yeah, he wouldn't. I don't know. He wouldn't. In my mind, he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that don't make any sense. I'm not going to implicate myself as being at this house when the wife has already told the public, the news, I was gone.
Right.
Very good point, Renee. Which brings me to what I mentioned earlier and never thought about it up until today. Could it be the truck was parked wherever and Mr. Proudfoot was inside of the house the entire time? Checkmate. If this was a pre-planned event and or he came up, stayed in the house, hid his truck so nobody would think he was there or to say that he was there. My thing is still, that's kind of weird too, because if the neighbors don't know your business, what do they have to go run tell? Unless it's pre-planned and I don't want my truck seen going and coming out of the driveway for what we're going to plan later. Ding, ding, ding. So you can weigh this story 1,000 different ways. Could it be he parked the truck at the parents' house? She drove over there, picked him up, took him back to the house. because she missed her husband. He wants to be home. Or it was pre-planned for him to come up and they unalived this kid. He's at the house, or she picked him up at some point over at the parents' house or somewhere else. Make it make sense. We can't make no sense because we don't know anything. We're just throwing out stuff. But hey, that's one thing I never thought about. Christopher being at that house all weekend, but his truck elsewhere. Because if he's comfortable, he don't really hang with nobody. He don't mind hanging in his house. It's his house. He pays the mortgage. Stay woke. What's the truth? Christopher Proudfoot, were you in that house the 25th, 26th? Did you help Katie unalive Sebastian Rogers? Dispose of the boy. What happened? She hurt the child. You came up 25th, 26th. Help her dispose of the child. What's the truth?
Hey, I don't know. Are they sure that Chris is the one that said that?
I don't know. I told you I don't watch none of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know nothing about it.
But if somebody else, said it or something, I could believe that, because geofencing, they use that a lot. They're using that.
So who would be the person to believe it?
Who would say that?
I mean, I'm just saying, what person could say it for Yvonne to say, "Oh, I believe that"? Who are you speaking of?
Don't know, Angel.
Well, the thing is, I don't know who the person was that said it, but I do believe that I do know that the cops use that, and they're using that for instance, in the Koberger thing, and that's just recently come out in some of the documents that are coming out now that all the DNA is coming in and all that stuff. They geofenced his vehicle like 11 times. That's why they can say he was there 11 times prior to the murder or whatever. They've locked in on his vehicle that many times.
Well,
so
let me ask you this.
TBI, Sumner County Sheriff, have you checked the data on all cell phones belonging to all three people, the child and the parents? What did the cell phones reveal as far as GPS? GPS on both vehicles. What have you gathered? Can you put Katie's vehicle moving away from the house the night of the 25th and in the wee hours of the 26th? And the same with Mr. Proudfoot's car. Can you track it back to Stafford Court at any point during the weekend of the 23rd through the 26th? That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Okay? What is the truth? Christopher Proudfoot, were you at Stafford Court the weekend of the 23rd through the 26th? Did you park your car elsewhere and made landfall in that house without anybody knowing? Are we going to find out Katie picked him up from an unknown, undisclosed address, brought him back to the house at some point between the 23rd and the 26th? And after a crime was committed in that house at 1008 Stafford Court, you took out your husband and took him to his truck and possibly a body. Stay woke, everybody. What's the truth?
If you believe there was an altercation, what was the altercation of them about?
it could have been something as simple as, your room is, a mess. And
I want you to think about what you're saying now. You're trying to make it seem like it's happenstance that Katie hurt. If you don't know you're getting ready to hurt your kid, why would Chris be there?
Well, maybe it wasn't her. Maybe it was him. Maybe he, and she's just covering up for Chris.
No, you're saying he was there, but something happened, so she lied and said he was gone. He said he was gone.
Yes, I think so. I think that they might have evidence that he wasn't where he said he was. Because I think they might have been able to.
How stupid that would be to lie to authorities or lie to us. Because one thing I've learned about people, they tell different versions to different people. So I can get on the news and tell the news anything, but that don't mean that's what I told the police, because they know the police is not going to tell what you said 9 times out of 10. So I can tell the news anything. You understand what I'm saying? I can tell a YouTuber anything.
Yeah.
So why tell anybody anything when it can be verified that, oh yeah, by the way, there's a camera from Pookie's house that shows you were home. Your truck came in, left, whatever times, you know what I'm saying? Because these people have nice houses. I just can't people not having doorbell cameras and security cameras on their homes.
Right. That's true. I know. But, you know, when these people are not as smart as they seem, that's why they get caught.
I know they're not smart.
Right? So if she could say one thing to, you know, the police and another thing to these YouTubers, and
yeah, that's
how they get caught.
Yeah, that's what I keep trying to tell people that. That's where most people make their mistakes, is that they tell different people different things. Nobody actually tells their friends and family what they told the police. Because they may have told the police 3 or 4 different versions.
Yeah, and they're going to always, every time they tell a version, they're trying to cover something up to cover themselves, you know, to whoever they're talking to.
Christopher, Katie Proudfoot, let me talk to you for just a second. How many versions have you spun to law enforcement about the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers? How many versions have you spun of your whereabouts from the 23rd through the 26th? Your relationship with the boy child, your relationship with Seth Rogers, the child's relationship with the school, other children, the neighborhood. What have you told law enforcement about everything? Have you lied to law officials about everything? Did they get conflicting stories from other people in the neighborhood, Seth Rogers, relatives, schoolmates, teachers, principal, pertaining to your relationship with the child, interactions? Because I got a feeling that somebody has a different version. Checkmate. Because when you're dealing with true crime, there is always a different version. Always a different version, okay? And that's just the way it is. What do you mean you can't hear me? Can you see my fingers? Can everybody hear me fine during this live? Put a 1 up if you can hear the Queen speaking. Okay, thank you, Painted. You see, people don't always tell the truth to different students. That's the one thing people have to remember about spinning a tale. What I tell my friend, what I told my mother isn't what I told TBI, isn't what I told Sumner County Sheriff, isn't what I told a YouTuber, isn't what I told the news. Stay woke. I'm not going to tell everybody the same story. So that's what you also have to remember about this situation. You have no idea what Christopher and Katie have told law officials about the weekend 23rd through the 26th. You have no idea what they've told those people. You don't know what they said to their parents, their relatives. You don't know what they told the YouTubers. Ain't got to be what they told the police. Duh. Everybody better wake up. Why do you think I keep trying to tell you why I never wanted to entertain anything said by Christopher Proudfoot or Katie Proudfoot? I don't care. I don't care. Once I see contradictory information, which is her interview versus how they treated Seth, that's all I needed to see and hear. I don't need nothing else. I don't need AI-generated photos. I don't need he said, she said from so-called neighbors going to other YouTubers repeating shit. I don't need that. I don't need this other video. I don't need none of that. You all did a live interview stating you had a relationship with Seth Rogers, that he was engaged in the child's life, that you all talked to Seth Rogers. But then as soon as he went missing, poof, you stopped talking to him. Why? You have a whole kid missing. And yet all of a sudden you stop talking to the father, but you claim on the news, oh, we all have a good relationship, we talk. Christopher Proudfoot, you gladly told the news you talked to Seth Rogers. But then as soon as the kid goes missing, you all stop talking to one another. Why is that? You never showed up to a vigil pertaining to the child. Allegedly, you confronted Seth at a vigil talking about he was making you all look bad. How the fuck was Seth making you look bad? No, you're making yourself look bad. You're making yourself look bad because you are disengaged, which shows me something terrible happened to this kid, accident or not. You were disengaged. You stopped talking to Seth. You stopped talking to the news. You never went to a vigil. And instead you ran to YouTube of all places. Who the fuck is YouTube? Who runs to YouTube spinning lies and stories about a fucking kid? Autistic at that. And you sat up here and you talked about that baby like a dog. And now, almost a year later, you want to tell us something? Oh, okay, because it's the 1 year anniversary. Well, I better give an interview. Make it look like I care. Miss me with that bullshit. The day you stopped speaking to Seth Rogers told me everything I need to know about the both of you. Bottom line, when you cut that man off at the ankle, that's all I needed. I didn't need no more he said, she said, because it's irrelevant. How you behave at the time of a person's disappearance tells the story of what was going on in this house here. Not he said, not she said, not theories, but the truth. You're letting us know it was never nothing with Seth or the boy bingo card. You never cared about neither one. You couldn't wait for the child. You couldn't wait to be rid of Seth Rogers, because once you got rid of the kid, you had no need to talk to Seth ever again. Checkmate. And that's why you ran your dusty ass down to Memphis to be with your husband, because he was priority number one, never your child. So all this other bullshit that took place on Facebook, YouTube, is irrelevant. You people need to wake up, stop listening to this bullshit on this fucking network and get it together. These people have never cared for this kid. It's not rocket science.
You know, but...
Well, let me ask you that. Yeah. Do you think they gave different versions to the police?
I do.
Okay.
I don't think that their lies are consistent. As much as Proudfoot tries to grandstand and you know, I just think that, and that's why he does all the talking, because I think that she's made a couple mistakes already.
Such as what? Such as, elaborate.
Oh, gosh.
What has she made a mistake about? Enlighten us, Miss Yvonne. Just ask.
Oh, no. Yeah, well, one thing, when she was, let's see, what is it? It has to do with the thumping and bumping.
Okay.
In the bedroom. She uses different, I can't remember, but she used different terminology a couple different times. And then she, oh gosh. I wasn't prepared to answer that question, but I know in my mind, as I've listened to these different...
when you get up here, I'm going to ask you questions.
I know. Ask me another question. But I do think that...
Do you need time to think about it?
Yeah, I need time to think about it, because I know that she's said a couple different things that were not consistent in a couple of the very early videos that she did. And that's one of the reasons why, it's speculated that, Christian said, look, let me do the talking,
How about this? You can come home. You won't be in trouble.
Okay. Which tells me that, you know, he was in trouble. He was in trouble for something. Whether or not he deserved to be in trouble, I don't think, you know, he didn't deserve to be in trouble, but he was in trouble. And that's why she said that. Oh, you can come home. You won't be in trouble because.
Katie Proudfoot, was your child in trouble? During that interview, Christopher Proudfoot said, oh, he hadn't done anything wrong. How do you know what he's done? You weren't there. Bingo card. Come on, Queen. Christopher Proudfoot, you weren't there. So how do you know what he did? So what are you trying to tell us? Katie stayed on the phone with you all day from the 23rd through the 26th? He did this, he said this, he won't listen, blah, blah, blah. How do you know what the hell happened in that house that weekend? Help me understand. How do you know what Sebastian did or did not do if you were not there? What if we find out? Seriously. Christopher Proudfoot was there the entire weekend, but parked his car elsewhere. Whether this crime is intentional or accidental, you're entitled to believe whatever you like. But the one thing I had not thought about, the fact that Christopher Proudfoot was in the house, not just in the area, staying with the mother, father, parent, hotel, whatever, but he was in that house. I'm coming up. I'm taking care of everything. I'm sick of this. I want to live in my house. I pay a mortgage here. I'm sick of playing these reindeer games with you and your son and CPS. I want to be done with this. I'm not dealing with this anymore. Well, what if Sebastian had threatened to run away in the heat of an argument prior to this? Prior to his appearance? I don't know. What's your point you're trying to make, Waters? He ran away and what? Like somebody said, could he have been locked out the door? I remember somebody on YouTube said that months back, last year. Could he have been intentionally locked out? Okay, so he got locked out, then what? He went where? Would the child have the sensory to go call on somebody's door? Hey, help me. My mom locked me out. My stepdad locked me out. It's cold outside. Or would he just wander and just succumb to the elements? But I think if he had wandered somewhere, the dogs would have found him if they had appropriate dogs, because you got to remember, dogs are trained to do different things. Dapper dogs for death, and you have scent dogs for the living. So you have to know what type of dogs were used, if the dogs were properly trained, if the handler was trained properly. All that matters. And that's something none of you focus on. It's just easy to say, oh, they put dogs out. Yeah, but were the dogs properly trained? The dog has to be in conjunction with the handler. That has been made known. I've brought you information on that just a few months ago. The two have to be evenly yoked. The trainer has to be like the dog, and the dog has to be like the trainer. They have to be one unit. How old is the dog? How old are the dogs? Say, well, last time the dog worked. Proficiency of the last time the dog worked. Dogs work. Stay well. See, I bring you every angle. I don't just throw stuff out. I bring you every angle of a story because everything matters once it has been introduced into the story. So you got to weigh the odds and the ends of the dogs, the dog handlers, people who process the scene, eyewitnesses, CCTV footage. Everything matters. Everything. Versions from the parents, all parents. Alibis proven, disproven. All things matter. Ellie, do you have something against these parents? Do you have evidentiary in the house? That's another thing we talked about on this network. What was left inside of here? Blood, fecal matter, urine, anything, soiled clothes, bottoms, underwear, anything wet in a hamper, washing machine, anything that looked washed, smell of bleach, cleaning products, stay woke, bed made, unmade. Verifiable clothes, shoes, coats, robes, everything. Tub wet, floor wet, sink wet. See, that's the stuff nobody talks about. I do. All the he said, she said you've heard on YouTube, I don't think I've listened to one YouTuber mention what I just mentioned. Did you check the clothes hamper? Did you check to see what's in the hamper? Did you check to see what's in the toilet bowl? Did you check to see what's in the garbage can in the bathroom? Checkmate. Did you check all garbage cans to see what's in the garbage inside the house, every room, outside? Did you check the creases around here? All this shit matters. Floorboards, everything. You check to see if perhaps somebody got a tooth knocked out. Bingo card. Come on with it, Queen. I'm woke. Are you woke? You have to check everything. You have to pull out dressers to see if somebody fought. A fingernail got flipped off. Skin cells, anything. You have to pull everything out. You pull the bed out. You pull the dresser out. Because when people fight, people get beat up, they get their teeth knocked out. You knock somebody's teeth out, the teeth are gonna fling somewhere. You shake the bed covers out to see what's in the bed. If the nose was running, anything, you check everything. You pull the pillow out of the pillowcase. You pull the sheets off the bed. You pull the bed from the frame. You want to look for hair. If somebody's hair fell out, pulled out. What YouTuber has talked about these things? That's my point. Towels, anything chipped, broken. You check the bathroom from top to bottom. Round the crevices to look for blood. Anything. That's how you get to the bottom of a story. You check outside. You check the garage. You look to see if anything looked like it was sitting somewhere but moved because of a dust ring. Bingo card. Come on with it, Queen. That's why I said I would be hell on wheels had it been my boy. And I had to go to their house, they would have to put me out because I would have been looking through everything. While they walking around talking and shit, I've been looking at everything. Garbage cans, the sink, the drains. I've been looking. I don't care what they say. What you doing? I'm looking around. That's what I'm doing. Hell, my child lives here. I'm looking around. That's what the hell I'm doing. That's why it's good when you don't live in a house where your children live. It is good to go in their room. You know, parents permit you to walk in the house and look in the room. You need to look at your child's room periodically. You go pick up your kid. Because a lot of people don't. They just go pick up their children. They may not even go inside the house. Parent may not want them inside the house. But you need to see how your child is living in their room. And you need to kindly ask, can I see my child's room? I just like to see the room. Hell, make up something. I just want to see their room. You need to know how your child is living. Because you're picking up your child at the curb or the front porch or the garage or the driveway. That's not telling you how your child is living. You need to go in the house. You need to see if there's furniture in there. You need to see lights on, water running. You need to see the bed your child sleeps in. You need to see if they got clean clothes. Stay woke. Because out of sight is out of mind. And if you don't see nothing, you can't verify nothing. So I would want to go in their house, pick up my son. Let me come in his room. Let me go in his room. Let me see how he's living in here. Let me make sure he has everything that he needs. Naturally, they probably wouldn't want Seth in their house. Like, what you want to look in the house for? What you want to look in his room for? Because he's my son and I want to see how the hell he's living. I got every right to see how the fuck my child is living. Let me see their fucking room. This is why people don't know stuff, because they ain't allowed in the rooms where the children live. They ain't allowed in a house. This is why I keep saying, you picking a child up at the curb ain't good enough. You need to know how your child is living in the house where they stay with their other parent. Because the room can tell the story. The house can tell the story of how the child was living. I've been their worst nightmare. Because what did I tell you all? I would sit outside. I would have sat outside that house. They ain't let me stay in there long. I'm going to sit outside. I'm going to watch everybody coming and going. I'm going to watch the neighbors. I'm going to see how the neighbors interact. I'm going to knock on their doors and talk to them. Hey, you see the little boy across the street? Did you ever see this little kid over here with glasses? I'm going to knock on everybody's fucking door until my feet are bloody. Hey, you ever see my kid? You ever see my kid come outside and play? You ever see anybody going over there? You see any hanky-panky going on? Did you ever see anybody manhandling my kid? Oh, hell yeah. I've been hell on wheels. The Proudfoots most definitely would have hated Queen. Because I've been on their ass. Do you hear me? I'm going to the schoolhouse. I'm asking everybody questions. I want to know who he played with, who he talked to, who he didn't like, who didn't like him. I want to talk to everybody. I want to talk to the people in the cafeteria. I want to talk to everybody. I would have turned over every damn stone from Stafford Court to that schoolhouse. And I'm going to talk to the doctor. Last time you saw my kid, what was wrong with him? How was he looking? How did he feel? I'm talking to everybody. And I'm also going to that steakhouse. You waited on my son with his mother? Well, how did he act? What did he order? Checkmate.
For whatever he did or didn't do, in his mind he was in trouble, and in their mind he was in trouble too.
Heather says she didn't mention it in the first interview. We'll have to go back.
She didn't mention what? About
you can come home.
About the fence? Oh.
You can come home.
Yeah, but she did mention it eventually, right? That's for sure. She did say that. You won't be in trouble. We just want you to come home.
Cut it out of there. Whatever you're doing, cut it out in there.
Yeah. Which was, probably maybe he was mad at her, and, like with kids, like I know I've had kids where,
exactly.
They're mad at me, they're throwing stuff around in their room or whatever, and I tell them, you can go in your room and be mad or whatever, and then I have to go in there and say, hey, knock it off, because they're throwing stuff around or making noise, pounding their feet on the wall or whatever.
All right, Yvonne P says, could it be that Sebastian was angry with Katie? Or maybe Chris, if he was there. The child was throwing a tantrum, acting out that Sunday, the 25th, throwing things around, throwing himself around, beating on the floor, beating on the wall, yelling, screaming, ranting. Katie went in there to try to calm him down or to manhandle him, and things got out of control. What happened? So you're never going to know. Because one person's not here to tell us, and that's Sebastian. Katie's not going to tell you the truth, and Chris is not going to tell you the truth either. Neither one's going to tell you if one was there and wasn't supposed to be there. So you're never going to get the truth about CPS reports. You're not going to get the truth until, frankly, as I said, a body surfaces. What story was that? What story was that, Castle? You're never going to get the truth. So that's why I said you can weigh this 1,000 different ways. Of coulda, woulda, shoulda, who was on first, who was on second, who parked the car, who parked the truck, who got involved after the fact, pre-planned, accident. You are never going to get the truth. Because these two are never going to tell you what the fuck happened at Stafford Court. Not now, not never. One would have to turn on the other one. And then you'll still be conflicted on who's telling the truth and who's actually involved. If one gave up the goods right now, your mind still might venture towards both being involved. You see what I'm saying? This is why I said, how many versions have they spun to law enforcement, did their versions change pertaining to who did what, who called what, three-way call, all of that type of nonsense? I never heard of such. A three-way call to 911. For what? Well, you know, when you call this place, it has to dispatch over to this place. Like Katie don't know how to call 911? We all got to be on the same damn phone? I'll call for you because you're dumb. Basically, that's what you were saying when you did the three-way. I could be weighing it differently. You know, we're all entitled to our perception. So what are you saying? Katie's stupid. She don't know how to dial 911? I don't know where he is. I can't find him. I ran over here and I ran over here. I don't know where he is. Well, let me call 911 because when you dial, they're going to dispatch you to another county. I'll take the lead from here. What the fuck? I don't need you taking shit. I'm calling about my child. I'll put your ass on hold. Now let me call 911. I'm the fucking one with the kid. See, that's a red flag right there. Three-way call. For what? I ain't thinking about no fucking Christopher Proudfoot, my baby missing. I'm getting ready to call 911 to the 1. They can tell me, hold please, we'll dispatch you to another dispatcher. Okay. You all better pay attention. I tell you, you got to pay attention to the details. These people have been sending red flags day one. Oh my God, I can't find my son. Oh my God, where is he? 911, what is your emergency, please? Yes, my son is missing. I can't find him. I went to wake him up and he's not in his bed. Could you send somebody, please? Send somebody. Then I'm going to call Christopher Proudfoot. Now we get it, many people navigate differently. People call other people in an emergency instead of 911. We have heard this so many times, especially with the Idaho 4 case. Everybody's calling everybody except for 911. Let me call everybody on campus that there's some dead people in the house instead of calling 911. Go figure. But what they say, everybody behaves differently. Yes, but time is of the essence. You don't have time to call mommy, daddy, Pookie, Ray Ray, Bubba when there's a catastrophe. I think back to one time when there was smoke coming out of the building, or there was, I guess, a fire in an apartment building where I was living years ago, and I saw a ladder in front of my balcony. So, stupid me, I'm calling my aunt, and I'm like, I believe there's a fire in the building. There's this fireman going up and down in front of my balcony. My aunt said, well, you know what? You need to get off the phone talking to me and get your ass out of there. Which makes sense, right? I didn't need to be talking to her. But I guess because I didn't smell, smoke like directly near me or saw flames shooting out under me, above me. But yes, it does make sense to get your ass up, get your purse, get your wallet, get your shoes, get your tail out of there, because you don't know how fire can brew. It's common sense. So in this case, there's a child missing. He's your child. He's in the same house with you. You don't see him. You should have known 911 as soon as you looked around the house and couldn't find him. You looked outside, you couldn't find him. Okay, let me call 911. No, we call the puppet master.
Because they're mad at me. But, I just think that his time of death was somewhere between 10 and midnight, or 10, 11, or whatever, when he was making all that noise. And I think that Chris Proudfoot was in the vicinity. I think they have him geolocated. We'll see it. We'll see if they ever. But unfortunately, I don't know. For whatever reason, I feel like they don't have enough, obviously, to arrest them, which is puzzling.
Well,
maybe because they can't find him, you know, and they.
If you discarded a person, hid them well, yeah. Exactly.
You know, but they haven't found they didn't find Harvey Montgomery, and they got him eventually. Took what? How many years?
What do you
3
mean,
4
Castle?
years?
He texted
You know, it's
him.
taking that long now these days when they don't have a body, because these people get smarter and smarter, even though they're still dumb. They still get caught, but it takes longer to catch them.
Yeah.
You know, I think they'll get Proudfoot, but
look where we are now.
it'll just, I know, 1 year. It's crazy. But I don't think he ever, huh?
Do you think there'll be an arrest?
I do. But I think it could take some time. But I think that there's more evidence against Proudfoot than they could ever get against that stupid Summers' stupid parents. I don't know why they couldn't.
Is there more evidence or some type of evidence against the Proudfoot? Why is this case eerily similar to the case of Summer Wells? 2 children were out gallivanting with their parents to only allegedly return home and disappear. How ironic is that? Both here in the state of Tennessee, East Tennessee, and then Middle Tennessee. Make it make sense. What are the odds of children just disappearing right after being with their parents out all fucking day long, but nobody has broken into a house? No one's broken out of a house. No doors or windows breached in either case. Poof, voila, the child disappears after returning home, yet they were gone all day. Make it make sense, because it's very rare to even hear such crazy nonsense. Child just poof, disappears, but they were gone all day with the parent. One small, one bigger. Make it make sense. Nobody saw anything. So see, this is where I have the problem with Summer Wells and Sebastian. There is nobody to verify that the child made it home except for the biological mother. Pay attention now. Candace Bly Wells says she brought Summer home, and she eventually went into the house to play with her brothers. And then she went over to call for her and got no answer. Then here comes the 911 call. Sebastian Rogers, same story. Goes out all day with the mother, hee-hawing around with relatives and shit. Goes to a steakhouse to eat. Last known footage of the boy child that has been shown to us, the viewing audience. Mom says he goes home. Everything's great. Fooling around in the bedroom. She tells him to cut it out. Go to bed. Wakes up the next morning. Poof, voila, he's gone. With no coat, no formal clothes on, no shoes, no phone, no break-in, no breakout. Same as with the Wells case. He's gone. This is no different than the Cow City case as well, with the 2 little black boys missing. Oh, they were outside on the porch playing with chalk. We now learn there was never no little boys outside playing with chalk. There was never no chalk written on nothing, because the boys had been dead. Checkmate. Come on with it, Queen. Because the video surveillance from the neighbor's house told the story. When they left on that Sunday, they checked out with only 4 children. And little did the West know that the neighbor had a bullseye view of their house to show them entering into a van loading up children -2. Say it again, Queen. CCTV footage showed you only loading up 4 children. Ding, 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 ding. You had a total of 6 boys. You loaded up 4. And I believe they came back with what, 2? 2 of the biological children stayed with the grandmother, and you all brought what, 2 back? 2 of the smaller foster children back. So where were the other 2 on that Sunday? You left that part out of the story, you see, because you didn't think that we were ever going to find out that you got into that van minus 2 children on a Sunday. And you had to watch it play out on YouTube when somebody ran to YouTube with the video footage. You knew then, oh shit, we are caught. And God favored you by allowing you to be free a whole year from the time that video came to YouTube. You were free. And you were only free because the district attorney in Bakersfield, not Cal City, was gathering evidence against you and your wife. So you see, there is always an eye in the sky watching everything that you do. And these stupid fools had no idea the neighbor had a camera to show their property. And that's where you fucked up. You knocked off those 2 boys, not knowing the neighbor's camera showed you getting in your van with only 4 on that Sunday. How about that? So now we go to Tennessee. 2 cases of a mothers claiming they brought their children back from a day trip out. But yet there's nobody to verify the child ever making it back. So we have to also ask that question with this Sebastian Rogers. Did he ever make it back from the steakhouse? My title is the obvious. Was Mr. Proudfoot at this residence the 23rd through the 26th? My title says 25th, 26th, because that's the date that Katie gives the child went missing on the 26th, which was a Monday. But we don't have any proof of anything. Okay? Get out my chat with that nonsense. We have no proof he made it home from the steakhouse. We have no proof that Mr. Proudfoot was in this house 23rd through the 26th, came home the 25th to 26th. But I'm asking these questions because this case is a big mystery. If he went somewhere else after the steakhouse, stay woke, dropped off, handed off, unalived in a car, vehicle, drove somewhere by Katie Proudfoot. See, you got to have verification. So now we need somebody in the neighborhood to have video footage to show us what time Katie actually made it home. Bingo card. Checkmate. See, I asked all the questions because you really can't have one without the other. Where did the child go after the steakhouse? Where did Katie take her vehicle after the steakhouse? Did she go directly home? Bingo card. Was the father already in town 23rd through the 26th? Did he come in the 25th or the 26th? Ding, 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 ding. Was his car parked somewhere else? Did the mother unalive the child in the house and then took him out by the garage through her car, drove somewhere, dumped him off, handed him off, and then came back? Bingo card. Everything's going to rely on this neighborhood. Stafford Court. This your proof, the neighbors. That's how you're going to get to the truth of what happened to Sebastian Rogers. The neighbors' cameras. Who came in, who came out of that driveway, garage from the 23rd through the 26th? Anybody coming out by vehicle, walking out, carrying anything, walking to any unknown cars, that is your proof. Because that's going to be proof versus what she told law enforcement of the 25th and the 26th. I did this, and this. I went to the garbage can. My son went to the garbage can. Do you see where I'm going? I parked my car at this time in the garage. I didn't move it until this time the next day, the 26th. See, all that's relevant. Who went in the garage? Who parked in the driveway? Any car sitting on the side of the road, up the street. Anything that's visible that you can tie to 1008 Stafford Court.
They couldn't catch them. That's maddening. But I think they'll get PROUDFOOT. Yeah, for sure.
I was trying to find that original interview. I'll have to look at it in Google because for some reason it doesn't come up in the YouTube search. Hold on, let me see.
I'm 1 hour and 25 minutes into that live stream from early this morning. Feel free to check it out. The hypocrisy of the PROUDFOOTs. 825 views. Thank you all so much for watching that live stream. Feel free to check it out. I'm not going to hold you all, but I'm going to talk about this case up until Wednesday because it will mark 1 year that the child was reported missing by Katie PROUDFOOT. During this live stream, I discussed the possibility that Mr. PROUDFOOT was in the vicinity of Stafford Court or at Stafford Court. Take your pick. Any, mini, miny, mo. Was the child brought home? Not brought home. We discussed that here near the end of the live. Is the child alive or deceased? Was the child hurt intentionally or by accident? Okay? Was Sebastian hurt accidentally or intentionally? I don't think you'll ever get the truth. You'll have the child either alive or the remains of the child to make some type of determination about the child and what happened to the child. I do not believe the child is hidden. I do not believe the child ran away. I do not believe the child was human trafficked. I believe the child was unalived, either after leaving the steakhouse somewhere or he returned home, it was unalived. I do believe the event of the 25th was a ruse to get the child gone permanently by Katie PROUDFOOT and also her husband, Christopher PROUDFOOT. I believe this was a planned crime. I believe they had tired of the child and they wanted to be free of the child. That's what I believe. They had no use for Sebastian Rogers for whatever reason. CPS reports, tired of dealing with him, so on and so forth. You weigh it how you want. Because as I said, you're never going to get the truth to why he's not here. But I do believe they were tired of dealing with him. And as I said in my live stream before, this child would be turning 18 in a couple of years, and they did not want to be holding on to an 18-year-old on their hip, okay? So you have to weigh all factors. A child with autism, if the child could navigate on his own after the age of 18, we heard Seth say that he couldn't. So that means he would need further care. So when you weigh whatever was going on in this household, right here, the dynamics of the relationships between the parents and the child, which I do not think were good, it's obvious the child didn't have a life. He didn't have friends. The mother didn't have no life. They wanted to be free of this kid for whatever reason. And then you have to think long term. After 18, they would still have to take care of him or Seth Rogers or somebody else. And the fact that nobody made provisions to put him somewhere else in a group home because of what they thought was wrong with him, his attitude, disposition, whatsoever, they didn't do it. So that leads you back to square one. Let's get rid of him. I'm tired of dealing with him. I don't want to deal with him no more. The father, stepfather, he ain't getting along with the kid. I want him out. If it was a matter of a CPS report, he couldn't be in the house, or he didn't want to be in the house for no more problems. This man wanted to be in his fucking house. He pays a mortgage. He wanted to be in his house. Nobody wants to pay a mortgage and can't stay in their house. That's just common sense. And if it's a matter of this child being the reason Christopher couldn't stay in his house, hell yeah, he's got a problem with this kid. And now the wife has a problem with this kid. So don't you see, it's a vicious cycle. Nobody in this house was getting what they wanted. The child's not happy, mommy's not happy, step-pawpaw not happy. It wasn't going to work. This is why we have a missing kid. Because something wasn't working at 1008 Stafford Court. And when you have people who, yes, will come to social media and talk bad about a child, they were telling you the story. That's why I keep telling everybody, if you listen to the original interview, 22 minutes long, feel free to finish listening to my live stream, which I played during this audio here. They told you the story in the news interview. She has to look at Chris to answer a question. He answers questions for her when the questions were not directed to him. She rocks back and forth, pretend weeping, never giving eye contact to the reporter, stopped talking to Seth Rogers, never attended a vigil, she and the husband, never spoke to the news again, ran to YouTube talking bad about the child, and now you decide you want to speak to the news 1 year, almost to the date of your child missing. Did I clear everything up? Yet in your interview, you were close. You had a close relationship with Seth, both of you. Mr. Proudfoot talked to Seth. Seth was engaged in the child's life, but yet when the child goes missing, nobody's talking to Seth Rogers. Why not? How many cases have you seen of missing people where the parents stood as a united front, such as with the Gabby Petito case? All parents were on deck. Same with the young boy who went missing in Nashville when he went on the trip and fell in the river. All parents were on deck. In news interviews, stay woke. But yet when this child goes missing, the only person speaking on his behalf is Seth Rogers. Why were you all not a united front? Why did you all not speak to the news together? Why did you all cut Seth Rogers off? Why did you not attend any vigils for your son? Why did you stop speaking to the news? Why did you come to YouTube and talk about your child like a fucking dog? Who talks about a child, autistic or not, to a YouTuber? Telling the world about his bathroom habits. Yeah, I'm going to go there before I check out of here. You told the world something personal about a 15-year-old boy that you had no fucking right to tell. And some of you may disagree. One person I remember saying last year, they didn't think it's a big deal. It was a fucking big deal. Because you had no right to put his personal business out there like that. He's missing. He's missing. And you're sitting here talking about people making fun of him in school for wearing a diaper. Are you kidding me? This is what you would think to tell strangers about a 15-year-old missing kid? This is all you could come up with? You know why you told that story, Christopher? Because you loathe Sebastian Rogers. You and your wife both. You loathe him. Past tense. You couldn't wait to get rid of him. So you were eager to come up here to YouTube and tell us how you really felt for the boy. We were sick of him. He shits on himself, wears a diaper. That's why they're making fun of him in school. What type of human tells the world this? You didn't tell the news he wore a diaper. You didn't tell Nancy Grace he wore a diaper. But you couldn't wait to come to all places, this dirty box up here, to some $2 fucking YouTuber and say, hey, yeah, they were making fun of him because he wore a diaper. You told us everything once again, how you felt about Sebastian. When you cut Seth off months before, you told us how you felt about Seth and Sebastian. So as I've told many of you who follow me on this network, I don't need no he said and no she said about this kid. I don't need no nothing, because I watched them talk to the news and I listened carefully to what they said to the reporter and what they didn't say. I listened to all the bullshit put out on YouTube to these YouTubers that was derogatory about Sebastian. You told me everything I need to know. You didn't like the kid and you wanted him gone, and that's why he's gone, and that's why we don't have him here. Checkmate. And Katie, you forfeit a whole fucking kid to keep Christopher Proudfoot. You are a dirty bitch. You are a low-life, dirty bitch. And I pray you have not one good sleep at night, ever. You or your husband. And if anybody aided you two dirty birds in the unaliving, the disposal of Sebastian Rogers, may you never have peace in your life. God don't like ugly. You stole God's child. He wasn't your kid. That's God's child. And you will have to pay the piper, either in this life or the next life, whether you ever get arrested for a said crime against this baby. But you gonna pay, honey. Both of you. You told the world you never cared for this child. And whenever you decide that you turned on your own flesh and blood, Katie Proudfoot, you have shown the world now that you did not love your child. You do not love Sebastian Rogers. You have shown the world this from your own words from the first interview, that you are a hypocrite, you and Christopher Proudfoot, that you all lied and told how you all were all in conjunction pertaining to this child, yet when he went missing, you could not wait to cut off Seth Rogers. And you know why you couldn't wait to cut off Seth? Because you had cut off Sebastian. Because you see, Seth and Sebastian are evenly yoked. And you knew, we're done with Sebastian. No need for Seth Rogers. I'm woke. Are you woke? The proof is in the pudding. The Proudfoots have told the story without telling you the details. Sometimes you don't get the details, but you get a person's actions and their own words. And that, my dear, tells you the story of what happened to Sebastian Rogers at 1008 Stafford Court, Hendersonville, Tennessee. They were done with him. And they cut Seth Rogers off afterwards. And they have never looked back. There will be an interview pertaining to the Proudfoots on Wednesday. I will bring you that said commentary. I will possibly talk about this case up until Wednesday. And if I get any more information thereafter, I'll bring you an update. But thus far, there has been nothing, in my opinion, viable pertaining to the disappearance of Sebastian Rodgers. Many things have come out, he said, she said, but I don't indulge in that type of bullshit because I don't have that kind of time. I need a receipt. And I'm not to pass any lies about a 15, 16-year-old boy. That's not my type of hype. That's what you're looking for, you're on the wrong network. I don't play when it comes to children. And I will not defame the name of a child for a like and a view. Other YouTubers do it. We're not in the same league. Prayers to Seth Rodgers for the truth and resolution in finding his son. And whomever has hurt this child, which I do believe the bio mother and her husband are involved, I have no respect for you. Not now, not never. And I know you did something to this kid because you have shown me you never cared for him. You checked out in rearing him and you wanted to be free of him. And you did just that. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below this video. Take the polls on my community page. Follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app. I'll be back with more stimulating content and commentary pertaining to breaking news. Check my community page for said updates to breaking news and various topics and subject matter. This is my commentary. Was Christopher Proudfoot at the residence the 25th to 26th? Did he help in any form or fashion to harm and dispose of Sebastian Rodgers? And is Sebastian Rodgers alive or is he deceased? You're welcome, sweetheart. Thank you. If the walls could talk at 1008 Stafford Court, what would they tell us? Have mercy. You've been listening to the Vault XL. Thank you.